This is George Dionne with Metal Express Radio, and I'm here with Mack Mullins. He's the vocalist of the CEO. How you doing today, Mack?
I'm doing great, George. Hey, listen, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to me.
No, I appreciate you taking the time as well. If I knew absolutely nothing about the CEO, how would you describe the band's music to me?
It is a current hard rock, heavy metal sound with, a nod to that melodic, hooky kind of 70s and 80s groove rock. The cool thing about the band and what makes us a little different, in my opinion, which may or may not be the truth, is that we've got a couple guys in the band that are in their 20s, so obviously they're influenced by a lot of the more modern hard rock, heavy metal music. We've got one guy in his 30s, and then of course there's two of us that are in our 50s, one of course being Vince Hornsby from Sevendust. So obviously there's quite a bit of influence from cross-generational influences all kind of mixed together in one big gumbo, if you would.
Okay, so how did you get this mishmash of generations formed? How did you get the band together?
It's funny because I've been playing music since I was a kid, 13, 14 years old. Like most musicians been out there. It's not something you typically see somebody do later in life. They've been doing it their entire lives. And I played with these guys in various iterations in and around the Atlanta southeastern rock scene. And these are some of my favorite people, not only favorite musicians in the world, but favorite people in the world. People I really like that, write really well, that are great to get along with, guys you can go on the road with, and I've been on the road with these guys, and they're every bit as cool as they are talented. So, we've known each other for a while, and it really took that last little piece of the puzzle, obviously, was Vince, who became a fan of the band before he joined the band, which was really cool. So it all kind of worked out, and you get to hang out, play pool, write music, and break bread with your friends, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Exactly.
Your new album, Redemption, comes out on Rat Pack Records on June 25th. You've been holding off on this album. You guys put this together before the pandemic hit. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, we were wrapping it up, mixes and that kind of thing when, what we thought was going to be a nuisance turned into, obviously a global tragedy. So, just like us, just like everybody else, everything comes to a grinding halt. You put your album on the shelf and hope for better times. So here we are. We finally gotten to that point where us, like everybody else who's been sitting on that music, is releasing it. So, and same with touring. I'm getting some questions about touring as well. And, obviously Sevendust put out their new record late last year, and finally getting around to touring that record in June, July, and I want to say into September. So when Vince is done doing, getting his big paycheck and he wants to hang out with his buddies in the in the CEO, then we'll go out and play and support that one. So it looks like fall for touring, and right now for just getting to know us. So that works for us too.
You solve that problem by just having Vince get you on the Sevendust tour.
You would think it would be that easy, right? It's like, Vince, look us up. You can do double duty, right? You do 45 with us and 2.5 hours with them. They won't care. Yeah, it's. I think the politics of all that, or the business of all that's a little different. But I think we'll twist him in and getting on a couple shows here or there just for fun.
You guys put out a single, Redemption. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the song's about?
Yeah, I do. Obviously we thought so much of the song that we named the record Redemption, and there is probably a little underlying theme throughout the entire album. Maybe people pick up on it, maybe they won't. But, obviously, especially when we wrote this, there was a lot of geopolitical type, strife in the world, lots of rioting going on, this group and that group, and everyone's being divided in individual groups. And you're going, I don't feel that way, and I don't think my friends feel that way, and our family doesn't feel that way. And, I think maybe the media and social media, that are out there to, kind of tear us apart, rip us apart, put us in different groups, kind of categorize everyone. And, this song is really a pushback on that, going, I don't see it that way. I don't feel it that way. And I don't think a lot of people in the world really feel that way either. I think, we've got a lot more that unites us than divides us. So that's really I was really kind of feeling angry about what I was seeing on the TV and reading in the news every day. And that was really just kind of a pushback on that dialogue, if you would.
Well, I would have to agree with you 100%. And I actually, I feel the same personally, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that feel the same personally, that what you see on TV and what you see on Facebook and social media and stuff like that, if you're not seeing it in your neighborhoods, you're not seeing it with your neighbor, you're not seeing it in your communities and stuff like that. It's just, it's amplified like on the television.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what I mean? We work together, we play together, we're on the same sports, we went to school together. We're all, we're Americans, we're friends, we're family, we're and then all of a sudden they're telling us that we're not. And that's frustrating. So maybe it's time for not only for us to rise up and push back, which is a lot of what I was saying in that, is also time for them to, those that are pushing this division to stop.
Your producer was Michael Basquette. He works with a lot of the modern rock bands, Alter Bridge and Miles Kennedy, and he's worked with Sevendust in the past. What did you learn from him as far as putting this record together?
Well, I'm telling you, that was probably the coolest experience that I've had in music so far, was working with Elvis. We call him Elvis because he looks like him. And, obviously you're walking into a studio with, platinum records on the wall. He's getting text messages from Eddie Van Halen. Slash was just there. Miles Kennedy was there a few weeks before. And then here's this unknown, rock band out of Georgia, and that can be a very intimidating situation, and it was everything but intimidating. Elvis was as cool, his staff was as cool as they could possibly be. 5 minutes in, your temperature's already down, we're laughing, we're having a great time. The guy is not only producing number one hit records, but he's in there grilling steaks for you. He's just that kind of guy. And he's not only is he cool, but he's uber talented. He saw these songs in their entirety before we did, meaning that, he saw the pieces, he saw what we were trying to do, and he knew the direction that he wanted to go, and really just kind of brought that out of us. So it was by far my best experience I've ever had in music. So he is phenomenal and worth every single nickel anyone pays him.
You are releasing the album through Rat Pack Records. How did you get your deal with them?
It's one of those things that, the manager for Sevendust obviously knows all the major players out there, and, heard the record and said, hey, I've got a couple of guys that I want to talk to you, about you guys to them. And Rat Pack was one of the very first ones that really jumped on board, that was excited, that were just super cool guys that got it, and we love the roster. It's got some of the legacy acts, but then again, it's got some of the new current hard rock bands to it. And they just, had an infectious type optimism about it. And it makes you, it made us feel good that, they wanted this to do well and be successful. So we love them. I think they love us, and hopefully it's a long and fruitful relationship. But they're fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a feather in your cap that you're with Rat Pack Records, because they mainly do legacy bands.
That's right.
The name of the band.
Big fan of most of them. Yeah, big fan of almost all of them. So,
the CEO, the name of the band, kind of parallels what you do in real life. You're the CEO and head of your own company. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, obviously there's, again, I've been playing music my entire life. Some guys get discovered and quote unquote make it at 2021, and the rest of us have, we've got families and jobs and that kind of thing. Doesn't mean that we stop playing music or writing songs. It just takes a little bit longer for us to, for it to be heard or to be, i.e. discovered. So, I've been working my entire life, providing for my family and that type of thing, and business and growing companies and, working in the financial services industry. And, at the same time, I'm a weekend warrior. I've been writing music and writing songs and albums and playing shows and that kind of thing. So it only made sense at this age that, we be true to who we really are. It's like, this is who I am, and we'll amplify it a little bit. And, it's got a certain attitude to it, and the attitude, throughout the entire band. And what we're trying to purvey is, basically be the boss of your life. It doesn't matter where you start. It only matters where you end up. And, some of us started with nothing and ended up, fairly successful. So that's kind of our attitude. And we think that anyone can do that. You have any background.
Absolutely, and you sell yourself a little short on that, because I read an article about you, and you grew up hard, and you grew up on a farm, and you worked hard to get where you're at. I mean, you sold yourself a little short there, but you definitely made it from working hard. That's for sure.
Well, you're standing in the audience, looking up at your heroes, and thinking that maybe one day that could be you. And not only is it me now, but I'm standing on stage with some of the guys that I was watching from the floor. So, if this poor little, if this farm boy from Virginia can do it, then, hell, anybody can do it.
Absolutely. And I think that we're in a time where you could actually do that, because I think in your 20s would have been very difficult to get a record deal, and very difficult to get it out there.
Exactly right. You know it.
So
I'm a little late to the party, but we got to the party anyway, right?
Age is just a number, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you the same Mack Mullins that fronted the Aussie tribute band Blizzard of Ozzy?
You nailed me. You got me. That's that was the 12 years of weekend warrioring it, all over the country doing that. So you got me.
And you have no Ozzy covers on this new album?
Believe it or not, no Ozzy covers, but we do have a Def Leppard cover. It might not be on the copy. Yeah, so some formats, LP, obviously it's got a timing on both sides. So this is like a bonus track, which it really wasn't our idea. It was actually Elvis's idea. And he says, I really think you guys could do something cool with an old Def Leppard track. And it's, High and Dry, Saturday Night. And if you get a chance to listen to that one, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it came out really cool. It's different. It's not like they did it in the 80s. It's obviously a little more, more modern sounding. And, hopefully people will love it. And the Def Leppard diehards won't hate me too hard for it. But I think it's cool.
And the new album comes out on June 25th. It's called Redemption on Rat Pack Records. And I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with Metal Express Radio today.
Brother, I appreciate you, and thank you for the interest and support. We could use all of it. So thank you very much, and look forward to talking to you again.